What is up, guys? Sophie here, and I am back with another topic. But if you are new here, then don't forget to subscribe and don't forget to hit the notification bell so you can stay updated on all of my content. And don't forget to check the description box because I always put a lot of stuff in there, such as my book for single women and my book for single moms, and also the part 1 of this, because what we are going to be talking about today, if you guys remember, I posted a reaction video of Kevin Samuels calling this woman average at best. So this is going to be her response, where we finally get an opportunity for her to speak after that experience. I highly suggest that you go check that video out. And honestly, you can tell there when you read the comments, there are a lot of negative comments from men in that video. And the reason why I'm bringing that up is because I'm going to kind of address a lot of what was hidden in Kevin Samuels' first video, and also a lot about the type of men that Kevin Samuels speak to. I mean, everybody have right to listen to who they want to listen to, right? But ultimately, as women, we need to determine who we need to give the time of day and who we don't need to give the time of day. Because really, one of the things that they were trying to make this woman seem like was that she don't have no options. She's not that cute. This woman makes 6 figures. She started her own business. She is a single mom and she is in her mid-30s. And Kevin Samuel basically was like, yo, your looks are average at best. And then he basically told her that she was not going to get a high figure man. And as I was reading the comments on on that other video that I did, I could tell a lot of them was just missing her overall point of what she was saying, because really I was talking to my stepfather, and this is an example about what I'm about to say, just this past week, and he is a 6-figure earning man. And I specifically showed him this video because a lot of men were trying to tell me like, oh, here you go speaking about men, blah, blah, blah. But the reality is I know 6-figure men. That's what I said on the other video, but I really wanted to get a male perspective on this and see basically he's telling her to date down, and then all these other men are talking about, oh, well, it's just about looks. It's just about looks. But what me and my stepfather specifically talked to each other about is, even he said, as a man who makes a good amount of money myself, I'm going to look at the entire package of a woman, meaning what does she have going on for herself? Does she take care of herself? Can she take care of business? This woman has a kid. If I have a kid, then yes, could she be a possible good step woman or step mom to my child? You know, that's what the man is saying. These are all the things that any man, but really even a 6-figure man can be thinking as to why he would just choose her over I guess a 10. Like I said, I think she's a nice looking woman, but just for the sake of argument, we'll say a 10. But I think that it takes a real maturity in a man to look at the woman's overall package. So I'm about to get into the clip where literally she talks about what happened and her rating of herself.
Rate myself all around. Looks, my characteristic, who I am as a person, and with all that said, I would say a 10. Right. But he was saying just looks, and I was trying to entertain his logic or whatever he was saying.
All right, so you guys just heard that, and honestly, I feel like she's 100% true in this, and this is why I brought all of that up. What women need to understand is that what some men need to understand, because not all men are like this. Some men just go for looks, and as women, that's not the men that we want to go for, because even if we do look good, the fact of the matter is that they're superficial and they're looking for the wrong thing, and as soon as they see another pretty person going around, then they're just going to jump ship for her, because they don't see you as the entire package. What they see you are is just for looks. And if they feel like, oh, you don't have the looks, then you're not worth my time. These are not the type of men that we're talking about. Even if you get high earning men, you can get a high earning superficial man that just wants a trophy wife, and you just sit there like a Stepford wife and say yes and no, and you don't have anything to offer. Or you can consider it like she said, if I am making 6 figures and I get a man that makes 6 figures, guess what? Our income is going to double at minimum. And even for a man, and I said this in response to one of my comments on the last video, I was like, I don't know how much she makes, but let's say a man makes $500,000 and she makes $500,000. You two automatically become millionaires because you have chose to invest in each other. And I don't feel like this is a user or a gold digger type mentality, because really both of them are bringing something to the table. Now, the second point that I wanted to get into, and when I viewed the original video, even though she didn't didn't say it, this was actually something that I could tell, that her main thing wasn't about just finding the highest earner and that's it, because she herself is a high earner, right? Let's be real about that. But really what she was referring to is she was tired of the man child. And I have a video on that and I'll link it down below. But basically, here is what a man child is in her terms.
Who has that desire to. I don't want to be with a partner where I'm like, hey, you should start your own business. You should do this to better our lives. Mm-hmm. Like, and then I feel like I'm being a mother to them, or they may feel like I'm being a mother to them. So I can't give somebody that drive. So I figure that I need somebody who already have that's self-driven. So all I was simply saying is I want my equal. Because what I learned in my past is if I date down, then I'm paying for it. All of a sudden now I'm paying for the dates. And all of a sudden now I got it.
So those were experiences that you went through yourself.
Yeah, that hinders.
Okay, so you see this. And honestly, I think that this is something that a lot of women tend to struggle with. I have done so many videos on it. I'll link my blog down below on why being the ride or die chick is just plain stupid, because as I always say, I'd rather do good all by myself because she's doing good all by herself than take on a man where I have to continuously provide and do everything and be everything and all this other type of stuff. And it's really not unreasonable for her to say, okay, but I don't want to be his mother. I want a man that can value himself and that is ambitious and that is taking care of himself. And if I remember, I can put it down in the description box because I did do a video, because I feel like real people, and especially men, but just in general, if you are really about your business, just like the Bible says, if you are diligent with your hands, then you are going to reap the harvest of your hard work. When people just consistently are aimless in life, they're not going anywhere and they just want to live off people, then you're lazy. You're really not diligent and you're really not about your business. So what she was saying is, I'm tired of taking care of men who are not ambitious and they're not doing anything. If by chance a man really has goals and he was stuck on being a man and he really had ambition for himself, because she's not a college graduate, she had ambition for herself, then why can't he be on the same level? So I'm going to get into the next clip and I want to play it first actually before I explain it.
You know, as Black women, we're taught to be that ride or die chick and to hold him down till he get his rapping career off, or till he get this, till he get this off. And I'm like, I'm tired of that.
It's a struggle love. You got
struggle.
And what she is saying is 100% right. And this is because I remember when I was an undergraduate, I was in a women's studies class, and there was some white women, and then there was us, Black women. And we were talking about what women or what our culture had been told in response to how to find a man. And all of us Black women were like, oh, we were made to say we have to work hard, we have to do this. You know, a lot of Black women are told you need to invest in your man and basically find a project in order to lift him up, and that you need to be all, do all, and whatever. And the white women, I kid you not, they literally said, my mother and my father told me to find a man that can take care of me. But it's like for a lot of, and I think even as when I was a younger Black woman, I fell into this, right? Because really it's like oftentimes there is a cultural difference in which if a Black woman wants somebody who is doing well, such as her, or is looking for a provider, or who doesn't want to always do everything. And I even spoke about this in the Jenny May video, and she's not Black, but one thing she was saying, even as a business owner, I still don't want to come home and do everything, right? So, but I feel like if a Black woman says that, then it's like all of a sudden she's a gold digger, right? But culturally, we don't tell other cultures this. This is not just for like white women, but most other cultures, the women are taught that they need to find providers. We don't see anything wrong with this. But as soon as some type of Black woman expresses this, oftentimes she is drug up and down for being a gold digger, when really this woman has a lot to offer and she has her own. She's not digging off of anything. The only thing that she wants specifically is to find a man who can bring to the table what she has, so that she doesn't have to do everything and work so hard and carry everything on her back. Okay, so let's continue. Okay, so in this clip, she talks a little bit about what she does want in a man.
Describe your ideal man to me.
Oh, my ideal man will be one, have good character. Two, is a good father. A masculine man. Someone who's self-driven, who has ambitious, and who has tenacity.
You said masculine. What's masculine to you?
Masculine is not necessarily a physical trait, but has core values of a traditional man and traditional roles.
So if you noticed, I don't feel like her expectations were too high. And that is kind of what I was trying to allude to in my original video when Kevin Samuels was talking to her. I feel like he is a certain type of man, right? He was looking at it on a very superficial level, like, oh, well, men who just want trophy wives don't want you. But see, if that's the type of person or a type of man that you are, then that's you, right? But if a man has integrity, if he has ambition, if he has morals, if he's a man of God, if he is deeper than what Kevin Samuels was talking about, the men that he knows, I mean, I don't know, then I feel like he would encompass what she's looking for. Because a man, like I said, when I talked to my stepfather, we had this conversation as well. A man who has some type of integrity about himself, they start to understand what can add value and what can take away. What will take away is, okay, I'm going to just find some young woman who is perhaps a gold digger who wants to just use me for my money. I know this, but I think it's all good because she's pretty. She spends up all my money. She might give me good sex. And then that's really about it. Or are you saying, or is a mature man saying, I want longevity. I want somebody I could spend the rest of my life with and who has integrity and moral character. And I don't have to worry about her cheating on me for another man for money because, you know, she's actually about something. So I feel like, yeah, sure. Are there some men who would discount a woman like her because of, oh, she doesn't look like how I want her to look? Because like I always say, there's plenty of beautiful women out here. You can find them dime or dozen, but a real man starts to look deeper and really starts to say to himself, how can this person add value to my life? Now, I want to piggyback off of that because I also said this in the Kevin Samuels video, in the original one, that at some points of the video, he seemed to be very triggered. And I agree, because one thing that I can say is that she maintained her demeanor a lot. And I feel like, you know, as a Black woman myself, this might be something that a lot of us have to encounter, is that we cannot come across as the angry Black woman. We really have to watch our words or the way that we speak because of the way we're going to be perceived. So let's get into this clip.
He wanted me to be that angry Black girl,
right?
I wasn't going to give him that. And
right.
Plus, my personality, I try to avoid conversation. So it's just like I just didn't want to, and I was.
Okay, so as you can see, and I feel like we can just all relate to this, that we know I cannot come across aggressive because I already know she probably already knew the situation was going bad. And if she slips and say the wrong thing, the first thing that the men are going to say, you're an angry Black woman and this is why you don't have no man because look at how mean you are. So, I mean, it did put her in a position where she had to be more passive. And as I always say, I believe that you can appropriately articulate yourself and say what you need to say, but also don't let anybody stomp on you. Like, I'm not trying to be funny, but to me, it's like the level of disrespect that he gave her. You know, as women, we do need to learn how to articulate ourselves without coming across as angry, but also letting some men like him know, you know, you're not going to be continuously disrespecting me or try to agitate me or trying to trigger me and think that this is all good because you want to get a reaction out of me to prove your thoughts about me being some angry Black woman, because some men really have a deep-rooted issue where they are scarred by some Black woman somewhere and they have automatically projected this persona onto Black women, and then they kind of instigate the situation and try to, like, you know, make us angry to get us to react the way that they want us to react so that they can just call us an angry Black woman, right? So I'm actually glad that she didn't feed into that, but I also think that as a person who knows how to communicate well, sometimes you really do need to put people on notice in a nice and in a professional way to let them know, like, okay, you're not going to be speaking to me like that, because he really did kind of go in on her and she just sat there like she didn't hang up or anything. You know what I mean? All right. So my last point is that I'm actually very glad that she came back and did this interview overall, because one thing after I watched the video is I was just very concerned, right? And I think because I work in the mental health field and I have for several, many years, right? And I often see how these sorts of situations can really hurt a weak-minded person and can cause them to sink down into depression or something because of the way some man is talking to them. But really, the overall point is nobody knows. You know, you cannot accept what other people is saying about your future because they don't know. Did God give them a scroll to your life and say who you're going to be with? No. So oftentimes, if you listen too much to other people, they could talk you into low self-esteem. They could talk you out of a blessing. They could talk you into making you think you're supposed to be single and lonely forever. They could just pour and speak death over your situation, and you sit up there believing them when they don't know more than you do about your own life. So I'm definitely glad that she did not sink into this I'ma just go away in obscurity and be in depression and follow what he said and continuously dating men who I know I don't want to be with because he told me I'm not attractive. Let's not do that. We need to have validation in ourselves that we don't necessarily listen to every man who tells us that they think that they know something, or friend or society or family or whatever, because the fact of the matter is they don't. And so maintain your self-esteem and integrity, and don't apologize for what you want out of life, especially if you know that you have worked on yourself enough in order to deserve what you're asking for. All right, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed the video, and I will see you guys another day, another time. Bye, y'all. Not ready for the show to end? It doesn't have to. You can head over to my site where you can read hundreds of articles. And also, you can feel free to shop my store where I have all of my products for sale. And last but not least, for even more video content, feel free to visit my YouTube channel where I talk about a wide array of content. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and until next time, stay blessed.